Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You're watching Casino is the Name, and in this video, we're going to talk about land, specifically vacant land in neighborhoods. Now, the reason I'm going to talk about this is because it's something that I'm actually dealing with right now. I'm not going to give any specifics on the parcel of land or anything like that, but I believe that I have learned enough about vacant land that I can actually make a video. I feel like an expert at this point. So anybody who says that the zoning departments don't work, well, I've only dealt with DeKalb. So DeKalb County in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Atlanta, Georgia area, they are on point. They are unbelievable. They're so good. I only want to buy land in DeKalb if I have to buy land. I don't know what anybody else is like. I've heard nightmare stories about zoning and stuff like that, but these people are amazing. Okay, I mean, I ask one question and I get a chain of different departments that work in zoning saying, hey, these people do this, you're asking about this, I can talk to you about this person has to talk to you about this. They're amazing. Okay, now this particular parcel of land, I can get it for, it's less than a fourth of an acre. It's not fourth of an acre, not a fourth of an acre, 4/10 of an acre. So it's less than 4/10 of an acre, but it's around 4/10 of an acre. So it's about 0.4 acres. And I can get it for about $1,500. Now, I know you're thinking you can get a parcel of land, 0.4 acres for $1,500. This sounds crazy. And it is. It is crazy. It's an unbelievable deal, but it is because of a reason. Why is that? Well, it is unbuildable. You can't build anything on it. Okay, there's a creek running pretty much down the middle of it. It's zoned R85, so it has certain amount of feet from the road, like setbacks and things like that. The structure has to be a certain distance from the creek and all kind of stuff like that. Can't put any encroachments on it. So it's so many things going on with this parcel of land, and as well as the house having to be at least 1,800 square feet. So it is basically unbuildable, okay? And so I just started throwing ideas at it. Right now, this is the thing: it's residential and it's inside of a subdivision, but it's no HOA. So I thought that'd be interesting. Now, could I put a tiny house on it? No, because it's zone R85, and the house has to be at least 1,800 square feet. So can I put an RV on it? Like these are all the questions that I'm asking. Can I put an RV on it, right? Because it has a cool little aesthetic to it, like it's big, tall trees, and there's a little creek there that causes the confusion with the building and stuff. But it's a nature trail almost. It's already like a road dug out that goes up into the parcel, so it's kind of like a little nature trail. It's very relaxing, almost creepy. So I'm thinking, well, at the very least, maybe we make it where this is like a little Airbnb, like RV kind of thing. You could put an RV out here. People can stay here. It's a little getaway, but it is in a neighborhood, but it's kind of secluded. And it just has a cool little feel. Like it's in a neighborhood, but once you're in there, you kind of don't even know about the neighborhood outside of there. So I was just thinking that, maybe we can do an RV, maybe we can do even like a tiny house on a trailer, like on a trailer bed, because it said no permanent structure. So I'm thinking, well, what if it's a removable structure? What if it's like a Connex building that's put there with no foundation, can be taken away, anything. And none of those things work. So, for example, the RV. I asked, hey, can I put an RV on there? They were like, absolutely not. Well, I asked a couple things. I said, okay, well, I understand I can't build a primary residence because it has to be so many square feet, a certain size, and based off of the distance from the creek and everything like that, it'll be too big. But what if I did an ADU? Could I put an ADU on it? And what do you think? Do you think that I could put an ADU on it? Now, if you don't know what an ADU is, that's an accessory dwelling unit. That's usually like if you see a house and it has a 2-car garage or a garage as a separate building, or if there's like a little structure sitting to the side. Some people make them like a mother-in-law suite. Some people make them like a little shop that they put on the property. They could be a tool shed, whatever. So an ADU, I'm like, hey, can I put an ADU on it? Since I can't build a house, maybe I could put an ADU in it. And the reason why I'm even saying that is because the idea that, well, you can convert some ADUs into like tiny houses or whatever. And so they said, well, yes, you can put it. You can put an ADU on it. It is zoned to put an ADU on it, as long as you put a primary structure on it. So I was like, okay, so I have to build the 1,800 square foot house in order to even just put a 500 square foot or a 300 square foot ADU. That's not going to work because the whole problem is we can't build the primary structure. So then it's okay, well, what about an RV? And they said, well, RV is an absolute no because it's in a residential neighborhood. It is not a mobile home park or anything like that. So you can't put an RV on it. And then can you park an RV there if there was a primary residence? Yes, temporarily. But it would have to be on a cement slab. So I'm like, okay, so I can't do an RV. Can't do an ADU. They said no storage type buildings can be there permanently unless there was even temporarily, but unless there was a primary structure there, and you can put them, I guess, like behind the house, but they're not supposed to be visible. They're supposed to be behind the house or something. And so, so then again, we're back at primary resident need to be built first, which can't be built. So then it was like, okay, well, what about just, I said, well, at the very least, what about this? Can I park my truck there with the trailer on the back? Can I back my truck? Can I park my pickup truck? I'm not talking about a semi truck, not talking about a dump truck or nothing. Can I park my Dodge Ram 1500 on there with a lawnmower trailer? What do you think the answer to that is? Now, the road is already dug, so in my mind, at the very least, I should be able to park a car. You know, if I need extra parking, I could just drive a car there and park it there, right? What do you think the answer is? That's right. No, I can't park a pickup truck on the land. I can't even park a truck with or without a trailer. Can't park it unless there's a primary resident there, because the truck is associated with the primary residence, and the truck can be parked there so long as it's parked on a cement slab, and the trailer is parked on a cement slab. So, should I still go ahead and get the land when there's almost nothing I can do? Okay, so the creek, right? The creek is basically owned by the state, from the things that I was told. From zoning, they're amazing. So they said it's state water on the land, and I can tell, like, if you saw how they did the creek has like those rocks that you kind of see that the government kind of uses. That might be an interesting thing for a government contract, is to get the rocks that the government uses to build these little water structures or whatever. But this it has like this little setup where you can see these rocks, and I'm like, yeah, I know no person, like no owner of this land previously did that. That looks extremely professional for this to be vacant land that is basically unusable. So they said that if I were to do anything to try to build anything that would cause any kind of adjustment, like an encroachment on the creek, it might be a bit of a heavy lift because it's state land or state water, not land. So basically, what would I be able to use the land for? I can't build on it, can't park my car on it, can't I can't do anything really. Really can't do anything. I could maybe plant a garden, maybe. But the best gardening area would be on the other side of the creek. That's where most of the land would be. But in order to get to the other side of the creek, you would need to maybe build a bridge or something to go across. The creek is like a ditch. It's like a ditch, right? But how do we get across the ditch, right? I mean, yeah, you could jump over there, I guess. It's kind of, you know, but you could maybe garden that. But like it has trees over there, so we need to get the trees out of there. It has a lot of challenges on the land, and so it's like, well, what could I use the land for? What sense would it make to spend the $1,500 on the land? And then you have to pay I think the land taxes is like $400 a year. But like, if I spent the $1,500 and it's like basically unbuildable, it's unbuildable. Let's just call it what it is. It's unbuildable. What other use can I get out of it? I only have one idea of a use, and that's maybe for content purposes. Like if I were to use it for movies that I wanted to shoot or skits that I want to shoot, and I can, shoot a scene where somebody's like, tied up in the woods or something like I don't know, but like that's the only thing that I can think of for what that is. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Let me know if you think it's worth still buying. Let me know. I don't know. I'm in a very. It would seem to be an amazing opportunity, but what am I going to do with that? Like, I'll just own it and can't do anything with it. So, and I do still feel like I could maybe come up with some idea, but it might take a lot of time and effort and probably money to get it to work. So, I don't know. What do you think? You think it's worth me using it for a movie or for a scene here and there? I don't know. I don't know. Let me know. Get in the comment section if you find this video interesting or this topic interesting. I can elaborate on more because I have turned into a land guru. Now I know so much about land. It's crazy. I don't even want to look at houses now. I want to look at land. I know so much about land. I know so much is crazy where like if the land is zoned appropriately, or if the land, it would be easy to be converted into a particular type of zoning. Man, it could just be simple as this. It's so many. I know it's so many diamonds in the rough because this thing that I was just looking at is such a nightmare that if you just have land that can be cleared and it's zoned where you could park a car on it, like that is a big deal because you might just find this piece of land that nobody ever cares about, and it's in this area where it could be zoned for this, and you could park semi trucks there, and you could get paid just to clear the land and let people park there. That's it. It's so many things, but it's not everywhere you could do that. So creating an RV park, just so many subtle little things that we probably take for granted, or pieces of land that we just don't even think about because it's not in a neighborhood or not desirable for building a house. But that land might be way more valuable than you would think, than even the person who may sell it to you would think. Anyway, If you find any value in this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Right now you're watching Casino is the Name. We out. There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the Name.